Hello everyone, welcome to Court of the Rings here on twitch.tv/LotraStream, youtube.com/Lord of the Rings /live, and facebook.com/Lotro. I'm Lotro's community manager, Cordovan. Welcome to your Friday. It's noon and it's time for Court of the Rings right here on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm going to be talking a little bit about our plans for the upcoming days. We can answer your questions about post-Minas Morgul stuff. Yep, Minas Morgul went out this week. And then, if time permits, I'll probably just be on the live worlds a little bit, running an old character, and I'll tell you a little bit about what I got planned for next week and times forward. Didn't get to it yet this week because I've just been too darn busy, what with Minas Morgul coming out and that, but I'll have more about that in just a little bit. However, I wanted to start off by thanking everyone for checking out Minas Morgul. We launched this week, and although our downtime was a little bit longer, after we took care of some stuff, we went up, and so far things have been pretty stable. We are working on a patch for next week. I know I turned myself into a liar this week by saying on the forums it would be out later this week. That was the plan. But unfortunately, some technical build issues caused us to have to push it into next week. So I think what we're going to be basically be doing is taking tonight's live or internal build, checking that on Monday, and going live probably next Tuesday with update 25.0.1. Hello, Jersbees, Wayward, Athrinthian, Itchid, Elfwina, Druid's Fire, Gumps, Neurotic Anarchy, St. John, Ponton, Deruin on YouTube, Andreas, Mandy, Michael, and Linka over on Facebook. Nice to have everyone here. I thought I'd actually start off by breaking a little kind of sort of news here. This is the stuff that would have been live right now if we hadn't had these build issues, so I feel pretty comfortable talking about it. So I'm actually called up on an internal environment, or kind of was internal, and then I may have put it into a Google Doc so I can call up an XSplit, our planned release notes. This is the current state of the release notes. That means some things may not make it in. That means some things could be added. This is not the final notes. It is, however, the current state of the notes as of 12:04 p.m. Eastern on Friday, November 8th. So let's get to it right off the bat. We've been hearing from wardens who want to get a bunch of work done, and we're not doing all that work, but we are making a couple of changes here for the patch. All warden damage over time abilities will have their pulse count increased by 2. Heal over time abilities, pulse count increased by 1. Warden item set bonuses affecting damage and healing over time will have their pulses reduced to +1. It's kind of a balanced thing, but overall it's an attempt to try to go more in the direction that we've been hearing from our warden community about what they would like. I know I've actually heard, make it +3, and we're not doing that. But we're at least doing 2 and 1 on this to hopefully make things a little bit better. The Minas Morgul Crafting Guild Quest component costs have been reduced for all guilds except for cooks. Additionally, we're putting the Universal Morale and Power Potions and Rejuvenation Potions on the same 2-minute cooldown as the Crafted Potions and the Minor, Major, Greater Potions of Morale and Power. When we went live, we switched out some to be percentage-based, and unfortunately, they were not sharing a cooldown, which was, frankly, making them kind of OP, because you could chug one, then chug the other, and get, ridiculous healing and power over time and such. So we're just going to be giving it the basic cooldown that you would expect. This one is a very, very important note. There's already something in the announcements forums on this, and I put it out on social media as well. Basically everywhere except for the launcher, just because of space. But when we went live with Minas Morgul, we had an issue where some of the high-level gear could be switched to a low-level character, and some folks were doing that. And we want to let you know, don't do that, because we are changing it. And if you don't get it back to your characters who are of the proper level, you're not really going to be able to use it until your lobby hits that level. So out of an interest of having you not, quote, waste your gear, Minas Morgul armor and jewelry quest rewards will now bind to character instead of account. All of this quest reward gear will now have a minimum level requirement. Pretty sure that minimum level requirement is 120. So if you've been sending OP gear to your low-level alts, not only with this patch will you not be able to equip it, but you won't be able to use it till you hit level 120. So send it back now while you have a chance. The level 105 and 120 Valar packages will now warn you that all contents are bound to character upon use. This is standard procedure. Generally, the package item delivered to you is bound to account, so you can get it on the character you want. But then once you open the contents of the package, it's bound to character. That has historically always been the way it is, but we're making it explicit here with this patch. The Virtue Quest starting item delivered in the Valar packages will now have tooltip text indicating its bound to character status. The trait point item delivered in Valar packages will now have a different icon. And Valar packages will now have tooltip text clarifying how contents will bind. Anvil gear is being changed to cost motes of enchantment rather than embers of enchantment. This is something that also got noticed. The vendor was still taking your embers rather than motes, and that'll be changed here with our patch, like I say, tentatively set for next Tuesday. The other big thing we're doing is we're bringing back the Tier 2 and Tier 3 stuff that had to get, that didn't make it live when we went live this past week. So the Tier 3 leading the charge deeds for the Minas Morgul 3-player instances will become available through December 23rd at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. The new Minas Morgul 3-person instances will now be available through Tier 3 difficulty. Right now it's just Tier 1. Tower dungeons in Minas Morgul Sea will now work properly and start you at the correct location within each tower. That's preventing I guess I'm not getting into the bug, but a bug where some people are finding themselves out and can't get back in. Fix an issue with the Filth Well where Guarodel? Guarodel could die before the second phase of the fight. Fix an issue with the instance Nothing for Nothing so it can be properly completed. Fix an issue with the instance Leave No One Behind so Viznak appears at the proper time. And then we're also bringing back up through Tier 3 the old Grey Mountains and Gladimir stuff. So Depths of Kidzakala, Glimmerdeep, Caverns of Thrumfall, and Thickelgundu, the Steel Keep. We're adding an objective to the Lost Lore, the Great Alliance, to complete Chapter 12.2, the Council of Kings, before speaking to Elendil, as he will not be available until after that quest is completed. That's working as intended, but it wasn't clear enough, so we're adding an objective saying, yo, you got to complete the quest first. Some of the rock placement stuck spots and a few other just kind of physics and environmental related things are getting cleaned up a bit. Ethelguar, the Filth Well, will now list its correct discovery deed in the Instance Finder launch button tooltip. Woe of Khand will no longer multiply on the Mordor-besieged landscape. The floor and walls have been shored up in North Remnus hooks, and the Stable Master Collection map has been updated to properly show the new areas. On top of that, there was a couple of things that I actually need to add to the notes today, I think. Let me make sure I get that out there too. So yes, we have an upcoming crafting quest fix that is not yet in this doc. In the next patch, the quest Feast Preparation Stuffed Waybread will be able to turned in at Aselid, or the Cook's Guild leader in Minas Morgul. Players players who have this quest underway will have it reset. Players who have completed the quest will not. If you completed the quest, you're good, but if you have it underway, it's going to get reset. This addresses an issue where you had to get into the new Minas Morgul stuff in order to turn in that crafting quest stuff, and some people didn't yet have access to Minas Morgul because they weren't high enough level or whatever reason. So that's going to be in the patch. I also see a thing about a big one. This isn't actually in the patch. This went out with Minas Morgul, but due to me failing, well, due to it just kind of a process issue, we failed to let you know about a pretty big change in crafting guilds in Update 25. Oops. That sucks. Nonetheless, it's not a bad thing overall. Characters can now join a second crafting guild once they have reached expert level in a crafting profession. Joining the second guild will have no effect on the progress of the original guild. So yep, you can now have two. I believe there are still some restrictions apply, including having to reach expert level in that crafting profession. but that is something that's live. And then we did the Minusmorgul Binding Quest gear, so that's taken care of. And then the other piece that is a clarification from what we put in the FAQ is that we noticed when we were getting ready to open the game worlds that the Aria the Valar 120 was not delivering to the legendary worlds. All the other stuff does, like your crafting carry-all and the expedition supplies and all the other kind of, once-on-delivery stuff will go to the legendary worlds, except for that Aria the Valar 120. Now, that sucks if you're on the legendary worlds and maybe want that Valar for at a time where you could eventually someday use it. But it also opens up an opportunity that is making some people happy, which is that you can get the crafting carry-all in a legendary world and your Aria the Valar on a non-legendary world. How you would do that is you would log into the legendary world first, get your stuff, and then move on to a non-legendary world, and then you'll get the crafting carry-all. So, kind of cool there. Let's see. I think those are the big pieces of news, other than I'd want to mention that we do have a plus 25% crafting XP boost going on this weekend. It is currently active now through Sunday, being shut off at 3 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday, November 11th. I would also point out for players who might want to take advantage of it, our free coupon this week is kind of not bad. It's 6 hours of vault services with the coupon code BankerPLZ. Banker please. BankerPLZ for a 6-hour vault services for free. So, maybe you might want that. I don't know. Maybe you're doing an Aria or something. Whatever. But that's kind of a cool cool coupon for the week. All right. Before I move on, let me make sure that I've got a game client ready to go. And then I'll get to your questions here in just a second. All right. So what do we got? Let me check out Facebook first. How does the... Okay, I'm not... I'll leave it to the community to compare our game with other games, so I'm not going to answer that one. I would say we have more hobbits. Way more hobbits. Yay for my hair. Why do people talk about my hair? I am not that vain. Or am I? No, I'm not that vain. It is weird to be such a nerdy geek like me and have people occasionally comment on my looks and hair and all the rest. It's like, really? Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I don't mind. Yeah. The perils of being on camera. Any news for disappearing floating object names and quests? We are continuing to look into that. We have been able to get it happen on our characters, and we are aware that it's happening. We have not yet, however, determined why it's happening, and it's not consistent. We have yet to get a 100% consistent repro on it. There's two avenues we're looking at right now. One might be whether or not, for whatever reason, something in the UI settings is not defaulting correctly or is otherwise impacting it where it should not be. That would explain why perhaps people had a change if some UI setting got flipped unbeknownst to them, or had some halo effect where one change impacted a certain setting. But we don't know yet, because we don't have the answer to that one yet. And then we've also been looking at, various kind of game build things as well, but we don't yet have the fix for it. And we know what's happening, we're seeing it, but we're not seeing it consistently. And so it's been a challenge to get that one fixed. But hopefully, that'll be the case in the near future. Is there a chance we can get an official list of the changes made to stats? No, not really. I mean, that's part of Vastin's overall kind of normalization work. I don't really think putting together a comprehensive stat thing is going to work too well, because that sort of thing happens frequently. All right, is the first stages in the new Valar, the legacies, going to be upped but the patch? Because currently there are like like at 52 for the legacies and was wondering if that was intended or is it going to be upped. The first stages of the new Valor. The legacies... Are the legacies going to be upped? We are not going to be increasing the default legacies, or the default level of the first stage item that you receive. However, there is a bug that is going to be fixed where sometimes those legacies are not displaying until you log out and then log back in. So that will be corrected. But the overall level that of power that we're providing with the first stager included in the Aria of the Valar is not changing. Landreval tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, Warders of the Weald, playing music in Hoppiton and the Bywater Bridge. Drop by for a dance or sing-along. Sounds good. Wreck-It 423, no, I do not yet have any news about server transfers. There's really a couple of sub-pieces on that. Oops. Oh no, my home! Alright, there we go. I'll have to deal with that later. There are some sub-pieces on that. So it's really a two-pronged approach. In the near future, we will probably be opening character transfers again, now that our server update work is done. That will be different than re-enabling shared account items. We have nothing to announce at this time regarding that. If and when we do, we will let you know. What was wrong with Arkenstone? There was an issue with player housing on Arkenstone where some people were having an issue accessing their housing, and that was not a bug per se. It was an issue with some kind of internal environment issue, so we had to rebounce Arkenstone this morning to correct it. No word on being able to craft carryalls. No word yet on the carryalls in the store. Squirrel, I'm going to have to follow up on the Big Battle jewelry rewards being max level 100 at certain occasions. I'm not sure if that's a halo effect of the other kind of itemization level work we're doing, or if that is not. If you got stuck and used a proper method to get free by using /stuck, will we still have to send in a bug report, or are the uses of stuck recorded on your end? Even if they're recorded on our end, you will want to send in a bug report with a /loc. That's the easiest way to get that fixed, because they can port straight to that stuck spot and hopefully correct it as soon as possible. Nothing to announce on Champions, Loppy Lop Lop. I know that is, something that we've been hearing, but we have other work, I believe, that'll be happening first. Gear and Essences getting stronger. Jim, I am YouTube. We are definitely not going to be doing a big repower curve of Minas Morgul stuff. But that said, right now only the T1 versions of the instances are available, and by running T2 and T3, you get better scaled rewards. So the technical answer to your question is gear will be getting better by the very nature of us opening up Tier 2 and Tier 3. But sort of a mass restatting of all Minas Morgul gear is not in the works. From what we've seen, if you open boxes during a big battle, the max item level is 192, level 100. We've gotten one 390 gold piece out of a box when out of the big battle. Okay, I will look into that. That sounds like a scaling bug. Telerian asks a question, do I know why the cap for virtues was changed to be a bit inconsistent for up to or below level 120 and 65 for above level 119? Why not level divided by 2 for all levels? I think it is because we went up by 5 levels but raised the level cap to 10, and they wanted to rescale it a little bit so that you would get from 60 to 65 by doing that. Well, no, because it's 65 for anything above level 120, right? Something like that. Anyway, it's on the forums. I think that would probably change over time as we add additional virtues. Nothing to announce about the curator coming back. Sorry. Should be in the near future. What are we doing about double downtime last week for some servers? So the main thing we did for that is we extended the Harvest Math Festival through this weekend. So that gives people an extra week to do the Harvest Math Fest. Sorry, I'm just kind of working through some stuff here. Sorry, I've got a little technical thing. Let's see. Call something up here. So I'm just calling up a few things on my character before I get going here. All right. Oh, actually, before... I know I just am switching to my game here. But before I do that, let me point out two things. First off, I want to thank everyone for continuing to support Extra Life here. We are running through November 15th, so that's another week or so. And then after that, so I guess not next week, but the week following, I'll be doing the incentive distributions and the drawings and all that sort of thing. Additionally, we are close to our $20,000 third goal. We hit 10, we hit 15, we're going to try for 20. So we're at 17,506. Thank you to all the Lotro players who streamed over the Extra Life game day on November 2nd. I will point this out that the Extra Life organization ran into an unfortunate issue with some of the least ethical parts of the internet, and unfortunately, their game day suffered issues due to a DDoS attack. Now, that doesn't compromise any data, but it does mean that people weren't able to donate successfully to Extra Life on their actual game day. Or they were able to donate successfully and not get, like, proper notification and all that sort of thing. So I know that the Extra Life crew have been sending out emails saying, hey, we're processing it. They're all going to show up as anonymous. And if you accidentally click too many times and you donated too much, we're trying to do that automatically, but let us know, that sort of thing. So if you donated over the weekend, particularly if you donated on November 2nd and haven't gotten your receipt or whatever yet, that's probably what's up. You can find out more about that on the Extra Life website. As far as I'm aware, I have everyone's donations, however. So I've started to get a few PMs about, hey, when are you going to give this stuff out? Did you get my message? Yes, I did. I was here till about 10 o'clock last night, getting the last that I currently have as of 10 o'clock last night, all the stuff that came in, all the information from people to be part of the drawings and incentives and all that for both DDO and Lotro. So I am now on top of the mountain, and it's about ready to get to the downhill part where I start distributing everything. So if you've been patiently waiting, thank you. I am hoping to get some of these incentives out next week. Maybe even get a little bit. No, I'm not even going to say I'm going to do it today because let me be real here. I'm not going to have time. So let's say next week I'm going to start distributing stuff. So if you have been waiting patiently just a little bit longer, and I should be able to get that to you. The other piece I would want to mention is that I have shaved, and I'm growing a weird mustache. And for those of you who don't know why I'm doing that, every year I do Extra Life, and then I follow up with Movember. And Movember is a nonprofit organization that raises money for prostate cancer research, testicular cancer research, and other men's health predominant issues, including specifically suicide prevention and mental health. Now, obviously, that's not just a guy thing, but they specifically focus on men in an effort to get them to kind of open up and be willing to break down some of these long-term barriers that exist. Oh my God, no. And I have set a $2,000 goal for that. We are also part of Team Standing Stone Games, and I'm the captain of the team. You're welcome to be a part of this if you'd like to. The incentives are the same as they are for Extra Life, and it's another opportunity, and I'll be taking donations for this through December 1st. It's of particular importance to me because of their focus not just on cancers, but also mental health. And I'm not going to get into a lecture or anything on the show today, but I am going to be organizing a Movember live stream. And I'll probably talk a little bit more about kind of why I feel that is exceptionally important for me to be involved in then. But anyway, it's something I've been supporting for quite a few years, and I'm hoping that some folks here might be willing to donate. Historically, it's been a bigger DDO thing than a Lotro thing, but I know that Lotro people have, they donated last year and have expressed interest in continuing to do so. So that's going to be available through December 1st. All right, so let me mention that, yeah, I know I'm still playing low-level stuff and Minas Morgul just came out. I have an intention to change that as of next week. I was actually hoping to change that as of this week, but then, like I said, real life just kept me so busy I didn't even have time to do all this stuff. I've been working late nights every night all week long. But my plan is to Valar up for next Friday's show. I'll probably be Valaring up a Stout Axe Dwarf, and then I'll be running more relevant content here on Court of the Rings, in addition to the sort of typical non-running thing stuff that I do. Druid's Fire is continuing her campaign on her show this afternoon. As an incentive, she'll be giving away a collector's edition of Minas Morgul to the highest donor above $50 during said show. Very cool. That'll be on later this afternoon right here on twitch.tv/LotraStream. I agree. I am very pleased with our update on the Hobbit gifts here for Minas Morgul. I never want to criticize other people's hard work, but I really like this interface a lot better. All right, there we go. Probably pick up these other things just in case. This is your final weekend for the Harvest Math Festival, so if you don't have your stuff yet, you probably want to do that. I myself think I'm pretty much done with the Harvest Math Festival for the year. I got the new mount and the things I was looking for. I didn't have a scarecrow from the last Harvest Math Festival, so I wanted to do that as well. Let me make sure I've got the book quest up. Nope. There we go. All right. Help me out, Squirrel, what you're asking for. You say on Twitch, would it be possible to get an updated overview of available Ember Virtue XP daily weekly rewards? So the Ember's Motes thing is what we've stated last year in our big kind of structural loot box redesign. And so Embers and Motes are typically going to work thus. If you want Embers, you need to run most relevant new endgame content, and then that content will begin providing motes once it's no longer the new stuff. More specific than that, I don't know that I really can talk about at the top of my head. If you're talking, however, about a redesign of the Hobbit gifts and loot box information page on Lotra.com, that is on my list of things to do. But because we had a big structural overhaul of the Hobbit gifts, and I need to do this in 3 different languages, I just haven't had time to update the post or the news article yet. So it might be a week or 2 on that. But that's on my list of things to do. I have nothing to announce about the crafting or the carry-all being offered separately in the Lotra store at this time. All right. Stuck in the middle with you. All right. Okay, so that's down south. So why do I not head down south? Oh, let me just... looks like I'm going to have to fight my way here. That's fine. That's fine. Anyway, like I said, this will probably be the last week you're going to see Dwinstrel, the Dwarven Minstrel, for a while. Because I'm going to be switching over to a level 120 here. I want to start running more relevant content, too. The reality is... I'm a middle-aged dude with so much on my plate, it's just ridiculous. And so my ability to catch up easily, as it were, is just... was a foolish goal, I guess might be the best way to describe it. So... instead, I'm just gonna Valor my way up so I can play with y'all, and so I can stop hearing from y'all about how much well, no, never mind. So that I can stop hearing, why are you playing old content on the stream? Yeah, okay, I get it. I get it. It's fine. You're not wrong. So when is the next patch to fix the missing NPCs in Minas Morgul, along with characters getting stuck and unable to relog? As far as I'm aware, we don't have missing NPCs other than that Elendil thing I talked about earlier. And that is going to be solved by an objective clarifying how it's supposed to work, which is that you need to complete the quest first before that person appears. If that's not the NPC you're talking about, though, let me know more specifically what it is that you've run into. As far as being able to get stuck and not be able to fix yourself even upon subsequent login, that's something I'm going to need to know more about as well. We do have some landscape-related work in the works. I know there's one piece of the new Minas Morgul content where people are like falling through a rock. That might be what you're talking about. If so, that'll be fixed with our next patch, which is tentatively set for first half of next week, probably something like Tuesday. Will there be wallpapers from the newly released expansion? Yeah, that's also on my list of things to do. However, it just had to get deprioritized due to a whole bunch of stuff in my life, up to it including getting Minas Morgul out, writing release notes, doing Extra Life in November, and all the rest. So it just hasn't been able to squeeze it in. I'm also doing the Chronicle and Beacon now for, newsletter for both games, so that takes up most of an afternoon and a couple hours on another day. So some of that free time, my free time is really at a premium at the moment. But it is on my list of things to do. At the very least, what I want to do is get the basic kind of key art wallpapers out. And I think I may also be able to offer a 4K version of it, because I'm pretty sure we have a resolution version of it that's higher than 4K. which would be sweet. Now, I don't know about the DPI and HDRs and all the rest on that, but at the very least, resolution-wise, it'll be bigger than 1920 by 1080. I'm going to basically look up what the actual 4K resolution is, which is something something by 21 something, and then I'll make it into that. A task board box for Minas Morgul task items. I have raised that with the team. They are aware of it. Hopefully we'll get that task board taken care of soon. There is a task board, but my understanding is it's not particularly easy to find, and so we'll need to do some work there. Viznak not showing up is in the release notes, so that one is also going to be corrected with our next patch. The other one you mentioned, Faerun not working proper. I would need to know more specifically the issue you're running into, but I know at least the latter one is also in the notes we brought up earlier. Yeah, that's right. Putting one in Mortar Besieged, I think, is something we should probably do as well. Oh, I hear you on launcher resolution, but that's part of a longer-term 4K plan. That's a pretty significant project. Patch notes did not say anything about boosting the damage Dragok does, like cave-in damage if your head isn't tanked. What else did we make harder? So there was a wide amount of general normalization of scaling and itemization that was done, and this is a reflection, I believe, of that. But you're right, we didn't specifically call out, like, Dragok's damage, because it was really just a part of a systemic change. I don't know who made the flying swords. Spiders and wolves, oh my. Oh man, so Wayward, I don't know what it was. It was actually a little bit before Halloween even, that at least in my part of Massachusetts here, the world went Christmas crazy. And I was like, all the Walmarts and that were putting out all their Christmas decorations on like October 20th, which, you know, I know makes a lot of people who love the holidays happy, and it makes a lot of us who were just like, it should happen after Thanksgiving, really cranky. I don't care that much about it, but I did notice, yes, we are in full-on holiday season mode here in the United States. Speaking of holidays, however, I do want to mention that Monday is Veterans Day. So if you are a veteran, whether it be in the United States, which is formally celebrating it, or elsewhere, which may not be, I do want to wish you the best, and know that we appreciate your service. No, Robot Baby Tiger. I have not heard of a Codeweavers crossover for Mac related to OS X Catalina. Raw salmon for breakfast? What are you, a cat? Yeah. Yes, Mager, the nothing for nothing instance bug is also in the upcoming patch. Turn off the auto skill bar. All right. Someone's asking about a, quote, Steam fix. I assume you were talking about the geolocation issue where people who are geolocated in Germany are by default getting the German... Oh, no, that's not right. That's for the other game. Never mind. What is the, quote, Steam issue? Oh my gosh. PVMP stuff, huh, Kanjal? So, I cannot talk about specifics. I simply, not only would it be unethical, but it would be against my employee requirements. I am not permitted to discuss moderation actions taken regarding a specific incident. I will say I've taken an awful lot of heat on the forums this week related to some of my statements on 1v1 PVMP. And I think some people have had difficulty trying to separate out the specifics of an individual incident from what I was trying to say. I've been seeing things that just don't make any sense to me. So, all right. I don't want to get myself in worse trouble here. Let me dig that hole more. No, let me just kind of put it this way. So, 1v1 is not, by its default nature, either rank farming or not rank farming. It is simply a system by which players can engage in combat between each other. So any kind of statement saying Cordovan says 1v1 is rank farming is 1000% incorrect. Any statement that is attributed to me claiming that Cord said 1v1 is not rank farming is 1000% incorrect. All I am saying is that as a general policy, 1v1, when used to engage in rank farming, is rank farming. That's it. And I've been getting people like kind of say like, well, I can't believe you said that anytime you use a knife, it's murder. And I'm like, well, I didn't say that. Yeah, but what if I'm cutting vegetables and someone walks into the blade? You know, you're saying that I killed someone. I was like, no, I'm not saying that. Yeah, but what if I'm just chopping vegetables and all of a sudden it slips out of my hand and stabs someone? Or now you're saying that I'm committing murder. And it's like, no, I'm not saying that. You know, I'm not saying that. You know? And I'm not talking about any kind of specific incident that may have happened involving in-game discipline in recent days or weeks. All I am saying is that if you are rank farming, the simple fact that you're doing it through 1v1 is not a blanket immunity, regardless of whether you think someone said in the past that it would grant you that immunity. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, you know? Now, I think that the PVMP community is probably correct that there are other more efficient ways if you want to break the rules than 1v1 rank farming. But some of the comments I've seen on the forums that, quote, no one ever rank farms in 1v1 PVMP. It's like, well, no, I mean, that is just patently untrue. And there's people offering 1v1 rank farming services on the sketchier parts of the internet all the time. And trust me, they're not saying that because it doesn't happen, you know? But I think I recognize what people are saying is they're unhappy with a specific decision on a specific incident and disagree with the assessment made, regardless of what may or may not have actually gone down. I hear you. But it's weird, like I've had people say, well, why don't we just start doing what Cordovan said, and that'll be the, and let's see what happens. It's like, well, no, I'm just saying that rank farming is rank farming, so if you think you're going to escape it by engaging in rank farming, then, well, no, you're not. It's not really that complicated. Again, like I say, I realize it's, I've been getting a lot of flack for it, and I probably will continue to. But come on. Yeah, that's true. I actually, you know, some people were used a terrible clip, which, because on the Extra Life Marathon, I jumped into PVMP completely unprepared at level 1 and just got raffle stomped for about 20 minutes until I moved on to other things. I had a good time doing that. I thought it was fun. But it's true. People were like, oh, look at Cordovan's rank farming. And I'm like, well, no. I mean, no. But okay. It wasn't a proper PVMP stream. That's true. It was really just kind of me making a bad decision. Actually, it was not a bad decision. It was a fun decision. But nonetheless, it was a decision that certainly did not show off skilled gameplay during the live stream. How OP was my spider? It was so OP I didn't dare play it. I mean, I can't show up the entire PVMP community at the push of a button. I mean, it was just like, you know, sometimes if you're Superman, you just gotta pretend. So you gotta pretend you have normal strength. That's totally what happened. Yeah, I thought it was satirical as well, which is why when a few people were like, ooh, I can't believe you insulted him, it's like, that wasn't an insult. I recognize that for what it was, which was a funny, frankly, joke. So, So all I can really say, like I say, I am prohibited in discussing specific moderation decisions. I can say, however, that I did bring everyone's concerns to customer service, and I made sure that they reviewed the logs, as it were, to see if any changes should be made. And ultimately, you know, I can't adjudicate moderation issues on the forums. I probably shouldn't have even responded to the thread, but you know, I wanted to make sure that I followed up on it and looked into it and all that sort of thing. But we can't, right? Because I can't. Otherwise, you get into a situation where every time someone faces an in-game disciplinary decision, they run to the forums or whatever and attempt to get it reversed. And in the same way that there are no guilty people in jail, we just can't start adjudicating all that stuff individually through public trials on the forums. Nothing to announce at this time regarding transfers. As soon as I get more information, as soon as I hear more, I will pass it along. I'm pretty sure it'll start with us reopening character transfers, and then we'll have to see about the rest. Stop disappearing on me, Rosar. All right, so what else should I mention here? You can find the full schedule over on Twitch. We've got, I know, Bloodborne and Stina and Wayward, Druid's Fire. A whole bunch of folks have been doing a lot of great Lotro streaming this week. And frankly, I have also noticed that our number of people streaming Lotro on Twitch has gone up quite a bit as well with the launch of Minas Morgul. Just the raw numbers of people streaming the game at a given time based on quick search results of the Twitch search bar is showing an increase, and that's cool. But it's a great time to be streaming Lotro, so hopefully you're enjoying it. And I also want to mention that I'm aware of you Mixer folks. I've been getting, as you know, the culture of streaming undergoes its various changes. I've had some people wonder, hey, can I add Mixer to the list as well? Not at this time. I'm already streaming to 3 individual platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, and I'm concerned that if I try to add a 4th to it, I'm just going to put myself in a position where the bandwidth is going to tank out on me. But maybe in the future, it's something I have been looking into. We'll see. At the moment, as sort of an official corporate channel, it makes sense to stay on Twitch. Stigger! Get back here! Alright, well, I think I'm actually going to do this off stream because I don't want to interrupt with Corey's show. Yes, Kelligson. We made a decision on which first age legendary items would be available for the class items that you would pick from with the Aria 120. And you're correct that there is not a sword or axe option for a Stout Axe Guardian. That ultimately came down to choices we had to make regarding what we'd offer for various classes. And because while Stout Axe gets some axe benefits, the Guardian does not? Is that the one, or am I thinking of a different class? That's the Y on that one, I think. All right. Can I give some information about scaling issues, Captain Banners? I saw the Captain Banner thread on the forums and passed it along to the design team yesterday. I can't really, make any commitment on that other than to just say I have seen it and I did pass it along. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up then with Court of the Rings today. I'll be back next Friday playing hopefully more relevant content on a level 120 Stout Axe something or other. Maybe champion? Maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Either way, you can find the full schedule on Twitch. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope if you are enjoying Minas Morgul, and stay tuned for a patch next week. We got 25% crafting XP boost going on this weekend. Until next time, have fun.